is the Big O Show. This 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 is
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new 2025 RDX for $19 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
For over 16 years, EJDconstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDconstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDconstruction.com.
I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield Home Security System guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Take $10,000 off a 2025 Acura MDX during our 17th anniversary sale.
It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Projects are laid out. Plans are made. Equipment is fueled and loaded with inventory to handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 4
40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions.
Friends, Romans, and countrymen, epic deals await you at Toyota of Hollywood. You don't have to battle to get discounts of up to $4,500. Your chariot awaits. A Toyota Corolla, not $24,000, $19,988. Step into our arena where everyone is victorious at the #1 volume Toyota dealer, Toyota of Hollywood, on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
When it comes to your smile, confidence is so important. At Moody S Dental, they provide the services to get your smile back. This family-run practice prides itself by offering the latest technology to give your family the best experience possible. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years with offices in Hialeah and Plantation. They accept most major dental insurances. They provide free new patient exams, 20% off select treatments. To qualify, please follow us on Instagram at moodys.dental. Moody S Dental has been in business for over 30 years. To schedule an appointment in Hialeah, call 305-821-0231 and Plantation 954-692-6825. From Invisaligns, dental implants, same-day crowns, and the preventative care and preservation to get your smile back. Go to moodysdental.com to find out more and tell them Big O sent you.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Before you buy or lease a Honda, Volkswagen, Hyundai, or any other model, compare Subaru, rated #1 in safety at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. Buy with 0.9% financing, 0 down. Forester with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $259 a month. Crosstrek with symmetrical all-wheel drive, $239 a month. During the Subaru A Lot to Love event at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, South Florida's #1 volume Subaru retailer.
If you're looking to take your home or business to the next level, then RM Contractors can assist you. RM specializes in new residential turnkey, new commercial turnkey, home and office remodeling. Call them for free estimates. Serving all of South Florida, licensed and insured. Call Ray, 305-345-3649. You work hard to create the perfect atmosphere. You dream it, we'll build it. RM Contractors, 305-345-3649. Or Instagram at RMC Fisher Island.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
Just one place sold the most Acura models in the last 17 years. Acura of Pembroke Pines. Drive a new Acura ZDX, $439 a month during our 17th anniversary sale.
The viewpoint, statements, or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website.
It's the place to go for South Florida
Oh, I don't have sound.
Good morning, boys and girls. Ready to rock, ready to roll on day number 18,860 since the Miami Dolphins lifted the Vince Lombardi Trophy. All right. So much to do, so much to say. It's amazing. How are we starting the day? Well, Bitcoin's at 111,500. The market is down, let's see, 177 points. The Dow at least. The S&P is up almost 20, and the NASDAQ is barely down. So that's how we start the day, and you can also start it cool with all your cooling, of course, and we thank Tommy Smith and the great people at All Year Cooling. Yes, sir. Looking forward to it. A rat. Anyway, we got a bunch of stuff to talk about today. We got some Dolphin stuff. We're closer, huh? Saturday's kind of like a joke because it's Bethune-Cookman and nothing again. I know that we have alumni in town. When you talk Bethune-Cookman and FAMU, it's like one of those things that you don't want to insult the people locally here in town. You know what I'm saying? You want to be nice to them, but yeah, it's not a good thing what's going on with FAMU and Bethune-Cookman in games like this. It's going to be, it should be an ass kicking. And so really it should be a boring game. Backups should be in the second half. You should win by 40, 50 points. So no concerns on Saturday. It's all about Sunday. And finally it's here, and we're going to find out what's what, who's who, and what direction, because last year we were all thinking, oh, dude, yeah, you got to win this. Oh, yeah, you win this game with the Colts. And we walked away with a loss. So let's hope that they can walk away with a win this year. I already bet them. I took the 1.5. It's back down to a point. It's only been at 1 or 1.5. That's about it. That's where the swing has been. Nothing more, nothing less. Anybody else tell you anything else? They really don't gamble. So it's at 1 or 1.5. I was able to get Dolphins plus 1.5. We shall see. We shall see what we shall see. So we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Stephen Holder, by the way, my buddy, is going to join us tomorrow. Friend of the show for many, many years. I think he's already been in Indianapolis probably like 15 years. But he was here for a while. And so he's been there in Indy for a while. So we will talk Colts and Dolphins from his perspective tomorrow. Furones will join us on Friday. Now, during the season, what we'll do now is Furones will join us on Fridays and then post-game. So this week it's Friday, and then he'll join us on Sunday in the post-game. Chris Perkins will also be joining us on post-games. So we'll have two different people in the locker rooms and get their reactions in the post-game show, and we'll do the same thing. So make sure you tune in and support us on the post-game show like you have for many years now, and we appreciate that as always. I just hope we have a shocker, right? That's what I'm hoping for. I fear for the worst, but I'm hoping that they can shock me and prove me wrong here and have a much better season than I'm expecting. So let's hope so. Let's hope so. We'll talk about the season that I'm expecting on the program, give you my prediction, give you what I feel. Sean, have you seen Under the Sun episode 1 from the Miami Dolphins? I don't know how many of you.
Not the whole thing, no.
Okay. It's like 22 minutes, 23 minutes or something like that. I watched it. By the way, the Dolphins did a fantastic job with the editing and the imaging and everything all throughout. Mad props to them. I think it's a terrific little piece for fans. to kind of, get a little closer to the team. There were a couple things that were interesting to me. And one, by the way, our boy Furones got in on it. They got him asking a question, just his voice, but Furones made it. Tua driving a Ford, right? So, showing how you figure guys that have a ton of money, maybe they want to go buy themselves, a Maserati or a Porsche or a Aston Martin or something, some kind of really expensive, joint. And he's driving a Ford truck. Not that they're cheap either. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is cheap nowadays. Money gets devalued every moment. There's a reason why I kind of talk about this all the time, but that's all roads lead to this, by the way. It's funny. But anyway, Tua driving a Ford. The sealer stuff I thought it's a really cool thing. You saw some of it already, but they had extra footage of him signing the contract and the family and the kid and everything else, and you get to hear from Zach himself. I thought that stuff was good. And then the peak was Big E, bro. Big E being in the episode, and God bless you, Big E. We're with you in the fight, my brother, and you're gonna come through, my man. You're gonna come through, and you're gonna beat this thing. And we're all praying for you, man. So that I thought that was really, really cool to see Big E in the episode. That's the one thing that really uplifted me. Did you get to the Big E part, Sean? No? Yeah, you didn't watch much, dude.
I started it, and then I remembered I had something else to do, and then I started doing that and never got back to it.
You never made it out of the beginning with Tua?
Yeah, no. Yeah, pretty much. I went to watch it, and then I had to do some editing, and then I never went back to it yet.
You editing? Never.
Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Work does call.
I hang around with you when we're on the road, and you're never editing. Never. At all. It's just something that you rarely ever do. Anyway, so yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm a fan. I enjoyed it. Is it like, phenomenal? No, but it was cool. It was cool, and I thought the Dolphins did a really good job overall, the production of it and everything. So nice. And of course, it's going to be all positive and stuff because it's team produced. But I thought it was cool, actually. If you get a chance, it's on YouTube. It's I don't know where else it airs. Probably on the Miami Dolphin website, I would imagine, or the Miami Dolphin YouTube page. But it just came up on my timeline, And so when I see it on my timeline, if it's something I like, then I, the algorithms, obviously, of my YouTube. So I must have said, hey, this idiot loves Dolphin stuff. And so it comes up. And so there you go. And I ended up watching it. And so I encourage all Dolphin fans to watch it. It's cool. It's cool. I enjoyed it. So there you go. I didn't want to, give away everything. There's a lot of other stuff with personal stuff and guys talking and expressing themselves and all that. And, I don't want to be a complete spoiler about it. I just want to give you some general stuff on it just in case, because it's kind of new. So I don't want to ruin it for Dolphin fans out there if they want to see it. But just in case you don't know anything about it, it's called Under the Sun, Episode 1. And then it's training camp highlights and all that kind of stuff. Now the market's down 185. Okay. All right. And Bitcoin's up to 111,805 now. We're trying to make it to 112 now. Told you when it was at 108, right? As I told you. This was like a little mini dip, dude. We've had dips of 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 60 and 70%. I mean, this is garbage, bro. A 14, 13% dip. This is like a joke. Any of us that have been in Bitcoin for a while, like a 13%, we're kind of like disappointed that you couldn't give me 20 so I could get a little bit more profit. That's kind of the way we look at it as Bitcoiners, because we've been at it for a while, and you go through the other dips and you get greedy. You're like, no, dude, go ahead, go down. The other people are panicking, or the people that don't know anything about Bitcoin. Oh, it's dropping or so. And us Bitcoiners are like, yeah, dude, no, I need to drop a little bit more because I know it's going to pop, but I need it now so I can, like, take advantage of that, of the profits of the dip. But anyway, so it looks like we're headed to 112 at least during the show. Let's see. Let's see if we cross 112 today. All right, what do we got going on the chat board? Don't forget, please, to smash the hell out of the like button. You can visit our amazing sponsors, like you saw All Your Cooling, same-day service and installs. They've got over 350,000 satisfied customers. So reach out to our friends at All Your Cooling. You can go to the website, allyourcooling.com, 888-204-5554. Tell them that Big O sent you, whether you're getting your air conditioning serviced, whether you need a new one. They've always got great deals going on. They've been in business since 1973, so this is 52 years, and serving Vero Beach all the way down to Homestead. So it's awesome. And by the way, they have a new Naples location, and I know we have a lot of folks that listen on the West Coast. So in Naples, make sure you check it out there. All right. Let's see. What do we have here? The great Frankie Fresco. Big O, since Tyreek was not named the captain on this Dolphins team, do you feel there's a good chance that if Miami starts really bad, they might trade him? Doesn't he listen to the show every day? Frankie, I told you that if they're not a playoff team, that they would not trade him in the entire offseason. Okay, while everybody was saying, oh, trade Tyreek, no, they cannot trade him. They will not trade him. They have to try to compete. If they trade him, they accelerate the money, and then they end up having to cut other players, or they can't keep some players or whatever, and they'd be worse of a team, and they're really not trying to be competitive at all. So there's no shot that they trade Tyreek. I told everybody that while everybody was reporting or this and that, and I told them that's never going to happen. What could happen all offseason, I said for months now, is that the only possible way Tyreek could get traded is at the trading deadline. Not only him, who else have I said? Bradley Chubb. Because Bradley Chubb will probably be done after this year, and in the offseason, they will part ways. And they will probably give Phillips a 1-year deal to kind of extend it or tag him or whatever to try him again. If he stays healthy this year, he'll have to stay healthy again next year. I doubt they extend him, but then they can commit to him long-term after, and so they'll have Chop and him long-term, whereas Chubb will be gone because you have to turn it over. I have said this over and over, and this is why you got to listen every day. Those of you that listen every day, you are way ahead of like 99% of the Dolphin Nation, most of the media, like way ahead. Like you're playing chess. You're the guy going to the office, all right, or going to the park, and you're the guy passing on the stuff I tell you to your friends, and you're the one looking like a genius, not telling them you got it here, but you keep it there for yourself. Okay, so if you've listened to the show, I've said it over and over again, Tyreek would never be traded in the offseason. And what happened? He never got traded. I said, unless they're having a good season. If they're having a good season, they'll keep him till the end and then let him go because he's done. They will trade him at the deadline. And that's why I said that Tyreek and his agent must have already had a conversation like, yo, dude, keep your head on straight, try to be a decent human being. This way, if you're putting up numbers and they're not in the playoffs, they can still trade you at the deadline to a team in the playoffs. And the team in the playoffs will take a chance on you at that moment because they only have to rent you for a couple of months. I have said all of this, Frankie. All of it. All of it, dude. I have repeated this over and over and over again. I guess we'll have a couple of new people. And so there you go. So that's the next time that you could see Tyreek or Chubb traded. If it's not a good year by the deadline, those two guys could be moved. one for sure will be moved. The second will be, Chubb will be the other one, but everybody wants a pass rusher. So if Chubb is having a good year and the Dolphins aren't, Chubb will also be. And then that way they add more picks for the future on top of the 2 that they already added this offseason with the 3rd and the 5th. They get an extra 3rd. I think it's an extra 5th next year and a 3rd the year after, or a 3rd next year and the 5th the year after. It's not both next year. I think one is in 26, one is in 27. I think. Maybe you can look it up for me, Sean. I'm not exactly sure, but I think that's how it goes. But either way, they have stacked a couple of picks for the future. With Chubb and Tyreek, they could stack more picks for the future also if they're having a bad year. Okay. Let's go to Oscar Rojas is number 1. I see hitting that like button. Sweet Baby Ray, Gus 1388, Mark Dahl fan. NorCal is in. He's puffing and a puffing on a Wednesday. Pipe Man Slim, Gabriel Perez, Jeff in Long Island, Brian Landis, Cosa Nostra, Nyborg. Let's see. Ace Man. What else? Yeah, it's been that long since the Super Bowl title. Yes, sir. Jonathan Cagle, Sam the Man, Brian Racke, James Vivinetti, Oscar Rojas. Yes, sir.
26, it is a 3rd round pick from the Houston Texans. And in 27, it's a 5th round from the Steelers and a conditional 7th round from the Giants from the Waller deal as well.
Oh, shit. Oh, that's right. Okay. Okay. But that's a swap, I think. That's what that is. That's not that important because I think it's a swap is what it is. Not a big deal. Anyway, Oscar Rojas says Chapel Bill has a head coaching record of 83-105 without Brady. Yeah, I know about all of that. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of that. Whether people want to admit it or not, his reputation is taking a hit. Just is. Dude, if he doesn't win without Brady here in Chapel, because he'll never get another NFL job again, especially with the fiasco with this chick. There's no chance anyone in the NFL is ever bringing Bill Belichick back. They didn't want him anyway. If he doesn't succeed at North Carolina, this will stain his career. He will still be one of the greatest coaches ever and all that kind of stuff. But the guy only had success with one player. And that's not going to be a good look for him. It just isn't. You've been nothing without Brady. You can't accomplish shit. Shula got to a Super Bowl with Woodstock, bro. See what I'm saying? That's like Andy Reid got to, what is it, like 4 NFC championships and 1 or 2 Super Bowls with McNabb? I know one of them he was throwing up, and that was the TO one. Did they get to a second one? Maybe only one, right? But it was like 4 NFC championship games. He also had success with Alex Smith, and then everything he's done with Mahomes. You see what I'm saying? Bill Walsh would have success no matter what. He had Steve Young ready to go, boom, taking off. And he's the one that had both of those guys. His eyes. Okay? It's not like Belichick. Belichick had help to get Brady, Greer's dad. So this will stain Belichick. It won't matter in the Hall of Fame. It won't matter in the stats, but it will matter in perception and in the public eye. People will say, yeah, Bill was awesome, but it was with Brady. He's a great defensive mind, one of the greatest defensive coaches we saw with the Giants and this, that. But as a head coach, without Brady, he wasn't impressive. And that's where you're proven as a head coach that you're good, that when you're without something, you can. Why do you think I put Spo and Shula in a perch all by themselves? Because I watch them do things with different teams, different iterations, and have success. That's what a great coach is. You just can't be great if you've only done it with one kind of team. You just got lucky, everything went your way, and you had your run, and it was over, and you couldn't. Dare I say, Greg Popovich, show me something without Tim Duncan. Show me. Show me without Duncan and Kawhi and the Frenchman and the Argentine. Show me. No, there's nothing. Once they left, the guy couldn't do anything else. And he's the greatest. I'll fucking take Spo over Popovich every day of the week and twice on Sundays. Okay? I'll take Shula over Belichick every day of the week and twice on Sundays. The coach, not the general manager. I don't want the general manager either from Bill Belichick. That's why I am so confident that the North Carolina thing was going to fail. And I didn't need I explained it to you guys, right? You saw a lot of the media. Oh my God, Belichick, first drive, they scored. That's when I was like, okay, now I got to put my bet into TCU. Because I knew that was fraudulent. And I know he's fraudulent at this point. So his reputation has taken a hit, is taking a hit, will take a hit. No doubt about it. You're always going to say great coach, but you're going to follow it with a but. Sorry. That's the way it's going to look, man. I never saw you do it with anything else. That doesn't put you in company with some other people that I've seen in my lifetime. You know, I can't put you with Larry Brown, my brother. I just can't. I'm not putting you with Rick Pitino. I can't. Can't. You don't belong anywhere in that territory with those people. Because I watched them do things with different teams and different players. And by the way, when I talk Pitino, I'm talking about different levels. Because he had, college and the NBA, he was successful. So for me, that's where Belichick hurts himself. That's where even Popovich hurts himself. Yeah, I'm not big on that where you had your run. Great, fantastic. We can't take it away from you. But did you show me anything else? With other people? Did you accomplish something really special or great with other people? No, you didn't. I saw Shula. He lost. He was supposed to lose. His team wasn't better than Washington, and his team wasn't better than San Francisco. But shit, dude, he got to the Super Bowl. I have never seen Belichick get to the Super Bowl with no one named not Tom Brady. And so, yes, this Belichick stuff, make no mistake, the ending of his Patriot run and whatever goes on here will be a stain on his reputation and his career and in our discussions at the bar, at the park. When we start talking about the best coaches, I'm going to run circles around your ass if you bring me Belichick. Because I just gave you examples. I gave you examples of coaches that did it with different teams, different levels, and that's what this guy never did. And that is going to be a knock on you. It's just the way it is. What can I tell you? So Belichick will definitely suffer from this, and he deserves it. By the way, Sean, do you have that picture there? Speaking of Belichick, now you brought it up. How many? The gold digger obviously was behind all of this because nobody in their right mind tied to football will do anything like this. Okay? Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Nobody is putting balloons and stars in a horseshoe over your head coach. Nobody's doing that, bro. Nobody. That right there is the gold digger's influence. She was on the field prior and all that other crap. Like, this guy is a distraction. The thing that every NFL coach I've ever met in my life cannot stand. Every NFL coach in the history of my career, dude, I don't care if it's Cam Cameron. They don't want distractions. Now, sometimes they become their own distractions, i.e. Cam Cameron. Dave wants that. Unfortunately, Mike McDaniel is his own distraction nowadays. Ahs, all rights, and all the other stupid shit that he pulls. So, folks going to be inspired to have balloons and stars. By the way, you can visit our friends at Subaru at Pembroke Pines at 16100 Pines Boulevard. Go see Alan, all the great people out there, Eric Stampone, and the Crosstrek, the 2025, the perfect car. Yeah, and especially for the new drivers out there, entry level, stylish, and reliable. It makes getting behind the wheel easy and fun. You can see the car all over South Florida or wherever you live. I mean, Subarus are everywhere, but you can see it up close at Subaru of Pembroke Pines, and you can also check out the 2025 Legacy, and we have it in Cosmic Blue, which is just an absolutely killer color, sleek, stylish, and listen, Subaru won't be getting any more of these models, so the ones we have there at Subaru Pembroke Pines, take advantage. This is your last chance to drive a Legacy home. Don't wait. Take a test drive today at Subaru Pembroke Pines, and you see the QR code there. You can use that, or when you get there, mention my name. Tell them, hey, Big O sent me. I get $500 off, I'm told, whether I buy or lease a vehicle. So there you go. Go to Subaru Pembroke Pines and get $500 off. Get a great deal right now on a Subaru vehicle. Go see my guy, Eric Stampone. They're just awesome people out there at Subaru of Pembroke Pines. All right, let's see. What do we have? Jonathan Cagle, I see. True Fin fan. J-Boy. Finn's Pocket says Big O is what is it? Al AI? What is going to be on the sidelines on Sunday soon? We already have McD, who is built for that. He just needs to continue to run the ball and stop the untimely screens. Challenges are not his fault. Challenges are his fault. If you don't win them, you have the wrong people either calling a challenge or telling you what's going on in the challenge. So yes, challenges are his fault. You're making too many excuses. You're one of those fans that refuses to see the reality. It's 3 years already where he doesn't win challenges. It's 3 years where he can't counter when a coach is doing something against him. He doesn't know how to counter. It's 3 years where he doesn't get a big receiver involved in the offense to make life easier for your short quarterback. As I've explained, when you had Drew Brees, they had Marcus Colston for, 7, 8 straight years. Big receiver, 6'4", maybe, something like that. And then when he got old, they went and drafted God, what's the name of that head case that they were talking? They were rumored to bring him here last year. God, I forgot. He's like 6'3", and he was another Michael Thomas. Was it? I think it is. I want to say Michael Thomas, and so that guy helped him for a couple of years also. Besides the tight end, okay. And that's because they were strong on the offensive line and they gave a shorter quarterback bigger targets. We have an idiot coach that doesn't figure out how to it took him 3 years to get the tight end involved. And by the way, the first month of the season last year, he was barely throwing to Jonnu. Okay. To me, anybody that thinks that Mike McDaniel all of a sudden that he still had trouble getting plays in on time in the preseason. Pre-snap penalties were still going on in the preseason. You know what I'm saying? And I get it. It's the preseason, but I'm sorry. It's all I have to measure you on. I see you as a screw-up during the regular season for 3 years, and then I look at the preseason. It doesn't look like your people are necessarily always prepared. So it's hard for me to lie to myself like you're doing, Finn's Pocket, that, all of a sudden he's just going to fix all of this. That's hard, man. I can't do that. It's more like you got to show me that you can actually do it. I can't believe you. There's no consistency. There's actually been constant inconsistencies. So, yeah, and challenges are not his fault. That is the cheapest out I've ever heard in my life. Whoever he hires, that's his fault. And by the way, so it's not his fault that he kept Danny Crossman around, a shitty special teams. It's preseason. Sean, have you seen an improvement on special teams? Yeah. It's all I can go by. This guy looks a little bit better than the asshole we had here for a couple years. So if you keep Danny Crossman around, yeah, it's your fault. If you keep the same asshole up there that can't figure out what to challenge, or if it's actually winnable, yeah, it's your goddamn fault. I hope we're clear, dude. Stoney Stanley, how you doing, my brother? Welcome aboard. True Fin Fan says the great question of who's the reason Brady or Belichick has been answered several years ago. It was Brady, always. Exactly. Big O Shula made it to the Super Bowl with Johnny Unitas, Earl Morrow, Bob Greasy, Woodstruck, and Dan Marino. That's my point. That's great coaching. I have not seen that from Belichick minus Brady. So, Joe Gibbs winning 3 Super Bowls with 3 different QBs. Well, I mean, Jeff, you listen to the show long enough. You listen every day. As I've said, and it's blasphemous in this town, the greatest accomplishment by any coach in NFL history is not 17-0. It's not. That's the second best. It's Joe Gibbs winning 3 Super Bowls with 3 non-Hall of Fame quarterbacks. That's ridiculous. Okay? Bill Belichick couldn't sniff Joe Gibbs' jock. By the way, those that tell you that Bill Belichick is the greatest ever, you can tell them to kiss your ass. Or I'll tell them to kiss my ass. I'll take Joe Gibbs over Bill Belichick every day of the week and twice on Sundays, baby. All right? That guy made the quarterback interchangeable. Nowadays, the quarterback is the end-all, be-all. Joe Gibbs was like, no, it's not. Yeah, I don't need a great quarterback. I need a good quarterback. I just need a guy that can complete passes. I'm going to build my line, my D-line, my running game. We're going to have receivers and tight ends. The quarterback just needs to be a facilitator. The Bill Belichick stuff that's going on now, let's bring it full circle. You gave me a little fire there. Okay? The Bill Belichick stuff that's going on now proves that Joe Gibbs is way better than Belichick. Not just better, way better than Belichick. Belichick's kind of a fraud. He's a defensive coordinator that got handed the greatest quarterback of all time, and there you go. That's it. But he's not Joe Gibbs, dude. He's not Don Shula. He's not Eric Spoelstra. Sorry. No, he's not. No, he's not. And why? We're going to measure it because of the championships? Sorry. You need to win championships without Tom Brady, and then we can have that conversation. Since you didn't win anything without Tom Brady, not even a playoff game, you can go play on the highway. Miles Deep is in Vegas, loving life, because when you're in Vegas, that's what you do. What else do we have? Armando Justo. Ocala Joe is smashing it early. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Big O, did you watch? All right. Anthony Campos. One-Eyed Jack. Pat in Asheville. Best predictor of the future is behavior is past behavior. Yes. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Big O, let's give Finn's Pocket a blind-ass fan alert. Yeah, that is blind-ass fan behavior through and through. Sean Stanley, give Finn's Pocket a blind-ass fan alert.
Blind-ass fan alert. Look out, everyone. We've got a blind-ass fan coming through.
Brian Daughtry, thank you, sir, for the love on the super chat. Says, have a great week, my brother. Sorry if you covered it already, but the Cowboys series on Netflix was fantastic. No, I have not. I've never watched it. I need to watch it. I guess I'll watch. My problem is, dude, and he says, let's go Dolphins and get Ollie 1,000+ yards rushing this season. He looks good. I like him, but I'd like to see, our coach actually stick to the run. And if you can run, punish people, you know what I'm saying? Like when you're running, 8-9 yards on Buffalo and you're like, yeah, we're going to stop running. Yeah, we're punishing Green Bay 7 yards. Nah, we're going to stop running. Against the Raiders, Mostert 4, Mostert 6, Mostert 3, Mostert 8. You're on the other side of the field. No, it was the Ravens, not Raiders. 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. What does he do? Screens. Mostert took you all the way down. Keep running. So, again, that goes to our blind-ass fan. For 3 years, the guy doesn't stick to the run when it's working. We're the only franchise that doesn't understand how important the running game is and how important it is to dominate on the lines. For 45 years, we don't answer that one. Like, it's crazy. So, Brian, thank you for the super chat. Remember, you can also make a donation, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. You can also send in a Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, Solana donation, and you can send in your questions, comments, insults, all kinds of stuff. So there you go. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We always encourage it because we get 100% of the donation on Cash App or Venmo, whereas on the super chat, stinking YouTube takes 30. Frankie, by the way, is obviously late on everything. He tuned in and asked every late question. Thank you, Frankie, for the super chat. Who will be the Canes' toughest opponent this year? They just played it. And then it'll be the ACC championship game. It's not going to be your Gators, if that's what you were waiting for. They just played their toughest opponent. That was the most complete opponent that they were going to face this year. They're going to face some other tough ones. 2 more tests they got left, Florida and what's the schedule? There's one more. There's only 3 real tough games. Can you give me the damn schedule? I'm brain farting right now, but I know that it's Florida and then there's one more. I forgot who the hell it is. But I think it's Notre Dame was their toughest opponent, best coach, opponent, all that kind of stuff. Oh, FSU. Thank you. There you go. FSU won this week, but I don't know how good or bad Alabama really is. And I got to see a little bit more from FSU before I believe that they've turned the corner. Oh, they don't play Clemson this year. Until the ACC, right? I think.
Yeah, they do play SMU also.
I'm not worried about SMU. The SMU had to run. I don't think they're going to be turning over talent like that over there at SMU. I know they have some money, but I don't worry about that. It's FSU and Florida that are left on the schedule, but it'll be Clemson. Like I said, it'll be Clemson, the next best opponent that they play in the ACC championship game if they get there. So there you go. They played the best team that they're going to play. So we'll see what happens now from here on out. Interesting. It'll be fun. Let's see. What else do we have? Big O, if I win the Powerball, I'm buying the Dolphins from Ross. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not even close. You've got to win like 10 of those to break even, because it's at over 10 billion. Remember, it's not just the Dolphins, it's everything. And I don't even think they're selling it. So, what you got to do, my friend, is if you win, put half of your money in a Bitcoin. Not that I'm a financial advisor. That way you turn your billion into several billion. That's what I would do. If I had money, there's no doubt I would easily be able to make money to be rich. Sadly, I'm a working ass stiff, so I can only hope to make a couple bucks to pay some bills maybe. But yeah, man, if you have that kind of money, yeah, you'll be set up for a long, long time. And then you put it in a Bitcoin, it's over. There's a guy that just sold his home, and I think it was like a $40 million home or something like that, or $50 million home or something. And he got like 400 Bitcoin for it or something like that. He turned all of his whole purchase into Bitcoin. Gary Cardone, I believe is his name. He's a rich guy as it is, smart investor and super smart. Bitcoin's going to outpace real estate and everything else because it's much more finite than even real estate. And that's insane. So there you go. So if you win the deal, get some Bitcoin. That's what you do. So you can really build an empire, Devin. What you do is then when the Bitcoin grows, you buy the whole goddamn league. That's what I'm saying. And then you rig it for our Dolphins to win it every year. It's what they do in today's society. They get into power and rig everything for themselves. So, Devin, we're counting on you, bro. When you win, you buy the Bitcoin, you multiply to hell, you buy the league, control the league, and make sure the Dolphins win the Super Bowl every year. I think all of us will agree on that one. We like that. Anyway, what else do we have? LIL says, I want Tua to read his progressions and stop the spot throwing. Okay. We got people doing drugs already at this point. That's good. Juan Mendoza, Big O, will FSU or UF be the tougher matchup? Oh, out of the two, I would go UF. Yeah, the FSU. See, UF, like I said, Miami got lucky last year. They played UF at the beginning of the year. They play them at the end of the year. They probably lose that game. Bitcoin is over 112,000. I saw progression from Florida. And then now you're going into this year, and I expect them to be a little bit better. So it's going to be a good matchup against Florida. With Florida State, I don't know what to expect. And as for Alabama, they're already on the decline as it is. So I don't know what it is because I remember Alabama before Saban. Is Alabama going back to before Saban? Just because you go to Alabama doesn't mean you're going to win. You still got to know what the hell you're doing and recruit and all that. Like Kirby, you didn't know just because he went to Georgia, came out of Alabama, other guys would fail. He succeeded. He figured it out. Credit to him. You kind of got to prove it. And so far, the Washington guy is not proving it at Alabama so far. He was there last year, and it wasn't the season they expected and not the way they started. So I'm not exactly sure what to expect. So I would say Florida has been ascending, whereas I don't know what the hell I'm getting from Florida State still. I'm not like the media. UNC scores on the first drive, and there's a bunch of people already, selling out and, oh, Belichick's back, this, that. Meanwhile, on the other side, that's when I'm betting on TCU. That's kind of the way it is. Florida State won. Now people, oh, Florida State's back. No, they're not. No, they're not, dude. That could have just been a flukish win against a team that's on the decline. I need to see a lot more from Florida State before I start believing that they're headed in the right direction and they're not inconsistent. We'll see. Maybe they are. Maybe they're not. But as for Florida, I'm going to give them credit because I've watched them get better last year and now this year. Obviously, they played a shit team to start the year, so it's hard to measure. But at least that shit team had no chance. Blew them right out and closed it down. That's what you at least want to see a good team do to a like this week against Bethune-Cookman. We've seen close games, right? When you don't have the team or shitty coaches, we're like, yo, why is it a halftime and it's 3-0? We're leading Bethune. It's 7-3 and we're barely leading or something. That kind of no. These are the kind of games that you're supposed to win 60-3, 55-10, 70-10, 70-15, whatever it is. You're supposed to just blow them right out of there. That's at least what I want to see this week from the U. No mercy, and that's exactly what Florida did this week to their sorry-ass opponent that they played, what they were supposed to do. So I'm going to say Florida right now, I expect it to be the tougher opponent than Florida State. We'll find out if that's true or not. But I'm not going to give Florida State, just like I wasn't giving North Carolina, any goddamn due on one silly-ass drive to start the season. You haven't seen anybody. You don't know what to expect. You can get surprised with a couple things, and then you adjust. I know we don't know about adjustments because we have Mike McDaniel here, but at TCU, they have a coach that can adjust, and they saw, oh, okay, that's what you're going to do? Okay, let's end that shit right now, and then they ended it. And then they had nothing else after that. Let's see. Juan Mendoza says, I don't want a new owner for the Dolphins. I think Ross is a good owner. We just need to nail the head coach position. We can go from there with the front office. I agree. Not a lot of people agree with that because I think the front office finds a lot of talent, dude. I think they can make a lot of good trades. You got to tweak a little bit, settle on the coaches, so that way you can settle on your players. And you're not letting good players go. And that's been the other problem. You've let some of the wrong players go, and you've kept some of the wrong players, i.e. Tyreek Hill is a guy you have to deal with this year because for some moronic reason you gave him a guarantee. That one I don't understand. Brett says, you might not be a financial advisor. However, you are a savvy and experienced financial prognosticator, which is just as good, if not better, in my opinion. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate you. Very nice. But again, do your own homework out there, folks. As I say, I'm not a financial advisor. Okay. Even though we've hit on a lot of things. By the way, we've been telling you about Avalanche since it was at $10. Let's go with our little R&M Contractors crypto segment now. And I've been telling you about Avalanche since it was down around $10, I want to say. And Avalanche, well, it's interesting because I got a little experience with what Avalanche is doing. And some of you too. Toyota Blockchain Labs has partnered with Avalanche to co-develop an on-chain infrastructure designed to manage autonomous robotaxis, fleets, and other mobility services. The project, dubbed Mobility Orchestration Network, was recently unveiled as a prototype. As I've been telling you, everyone, you, me, Toyota, banks, your lawnmower service, whatever it is, your NBA team, your NFL team, they'll all be on the blockchain. Okay? I've been telling you this now on the show for 6 years now. This is our 6th year telling you that the blockchain will be the future. And eventually, they all will use it. Okay? So they're my boys, Avalanche, growing. It's at $25 right now. We've been telling you since it was at 10. So we're, 2.5x right now. Gold reaches 3,600. That's nice. That is nice. That is nice. So very cool. And by the way, the other thing going on, American BTC, a mining company by the Trump family, is going to go public on NASDAQ today. All right. They've got 260 million in their treasury of Bitcoin. U.S. Bancorp. Okay. Now that regulations are in place, they have revived Bitcoin custody per institutional funds via the NYDIG partnership to include spot Bitcoin ETFs. They were trying it 3 years ago, but of course, Biden and company were killing anything and everything Bitcoin and crypto. So they backed out. Now Bancorp is back doing this. The Winklevoss twins have started their own company that has a Bitcoin treasury, and they started with 1,000 Bitcoins. This isn't stopping, folks. Just telling you. So take advantage. And of course, call our friends, R&M Contractors, my man Ray, Mike. They do great work. Go to their Instagram page. You can see the work for yourself. If you're looking for exceptional work for your home, condo, whatever it is, RMC Fisher Island is the Instagram address, RMC Fisher Island. Complete remodel, kitchen upgrades, waterproofing, the terrace, the balcony, flood test reports. That's even great for those of you that have a second-story home, too, on top of all of that, or a townhouse or something. Because if a busted pipe, you want the water to get trapped up and not start dripping and going into other floors or your neighbors or anything like that. If it's a townhouse or it's a condo or something like that, because then it becomes a bigger insurance problem. Well, R&M Contractors knows how to create waterproofing for your terrace, your balcony, flood test reports, so all that stuff, so you know how to drain it and everything, and less problems. So call R&M Contractors. They will take care of you. 305-345-3649. That's 305-345-3649 for R&M Contractors. Tell Ray or Mike that Big O sent you. All right. Let's see. The Kawhi Leonard story. Yes, it is wild. So apparently, Pablo Torre, who's on a roll breaking all kinds of stuff, breaks a story that Kawhi Leonard and the owner of the Clippers, Steve Ballmer, he started a fake company that was called Aspirations. And Pablo Torre interviewed a bunch of people that work there, and he got documents and everything else. And apparently there was an LLC to this fake company that was paying a KL2 Aspire LLC, and KL2 is Kawhi Leonard number 2. And they paid him $28 million. And Pablo Torre has even one of the employees of the defunct company that said, "Oh, he goes, that money was given to him to circumvent the salary cap. So besides the salary that you're earning in the NBA, they gave him $28 million more under the table in another way." So now this whole story is broken out. Ballmer and the Clippers have denied it, yada, 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 all that. This seems pretty damn explosive by Pablo Torre. If this is true, okay, Steve Ballmer will be forced to sell the Clippers. You don't suspend somebody for this. That is the kind of egregious penalty that is cheating at its highest form. So you must force him to sell the team. Bottom line. And by the way, the NBA should control the sale to make sure it's going into objective hands that have no ties to Ballmer, his family, his corporation, or anything like that. And then Kawhi Leonard should be kicked out of the league. And his contract should be voided. Since you got your $28 million, whatever's left for this year and whatever's left should be voided. And he should be kicked out of the league. Not suspended. No. He should be kicked out of the league. That's what should happen. I don't know. It's kind of like what's going on with Inter Miami. They haven't said a word about anything for Suarez, Busquets, Avilas. Who's the other asshole? Who's the other idiot that needs to be reprimanded, suspended? Weingart. Avilas was a complete scumbag running around like a madman, throwing punches all over the damn place. They haven't said anything. Now, remember, CONCACAF can say, well, we don't really run that tournament. The MLS said, well, it's not really because this is a fake tournament as it is. It's a bullshit tournament. So what are they going to say? Oh, you're suspended for the Leagues Cup next year. Like anybody gives a shit about the Leagues Cup. You know what I mean? If the Moss family does not do something serious, that's despicable on their part. I got to tell you, I am so disgusted with this Inter Miami squad. Bunch of spoiled, rich little bitches that aren't getting their way. And they, there's a lot of Higuain going on with those assholes. They thought they were going to come in and just dominate the league and everything given to them and all that kind of stuff. And that's where the MLS has got to put their foot down. Dude, they're only the 5th team in the standings. It's not like they're the number 1 team or anything like that. They're not that good. They're not going to win. Drop the hammer, MLS. And I would love to see Inter Miami show some balls. So the NBA needs to show some balls here because this is disgusting at its highest level. Second highest. Inter Miami is probably the lowest form of life that there is in all of pro sports. Isn't it nice that the most scumbag team in all of pro sports is in our backyard, Inter Miami? That's pretty cool. Huh? It's pretty cool. We have the most scumbag team in all of pro sports. Inter Miami. It's pretty awesome. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Moss brothers have some balls. Or they're just worried about the wallet. Oh, no, we got to, we can't. No, we got to keep them on the field and all that. Yeah, no, we got to try to make our money back. We'll see if the MLS has some balls. We'll see if the NBA and the commissioner has some balls because Since the Clipper thing, that commissioner has been an outright failure. He's pretty much mishandled everything else. So we'll see if he can handle this the right way. Okay? We'll see. We'll see if he can handle it the right way. But the NBA needs to come down strong and kick Ballmer out of the league, and Kawhi Leonard needs to be permanently suspended, banned, and his contract should be voided. That's what should happen. And the NBA should, no, you want to play, bro? Yeah, go to Europe. Get out of here. Go play for FIBA. That's what I would do to his ass. I don't know. And Suarez needs to be suspended for the year. The 9 games that are left, you're out, bro. You're done. Busquets should be suspended for 4 or 5 games. Avilas is another guy. I would suspend him for the rest of the year also, because it was just, his behavior was completely disgusting. Weingart, I'd give him a couple games also. I don't know what else. I've seen the video many, many times. I think those are the 4 main culprits to everything that went on. But hey, man, way to represent our community, Inter Miami. I hope the Moss brothers are really satisfied with the direction they've taken their franchise, because you're paying all that money for an embarrassment, dude. You were embarrassed last year by Atlanta in the first round, and you're an embarrassment right now. And now you're a disgraceful embarrassment. I'm embarrassed to actually say I'm an Inter Miami fan, to be quite honest. After watching that, when you really take the time to watch the video and watch the behavior of so-called world-classless players, you know, it's amazing. So we'll see. A lot of scummy shit going on in sports. Inter Miami and the Clippers. Clippers seem to always be in some scummy shit, isn't it? One owner, the other, different kind of scum. How about that? Power, men of power, people of power, because even women of power will take advantage of other people, but mostly men for sure. We're the main culprits of it. Devin, when you do win, bro, don't become one of them. All right, Devin? Be a nice billionaire. All right, Devin? Be a nice billionaire. 112,237 for Bitcoin. Loving it. Avalanche is up 6%. 25.36. I wonder why. Ethereum is up almost 3%. All right. Don't forget Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, Chainlink or Solana. What else do we have here on the chat board? You know what? Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. The great Alan Blanco. If your company, corporation, institution, school, you need custom printing or embroidery, your business, you need new uniforms, hats, whatever it is, they're in Hialeah. You can get it all done through Zoom. They can ship it out to you right away. 786-618-1443, custom printing and embroidery. Please call Alan Blanco. Bethune-Cookman and UM on Saturday, 7 o'clock. Number 5, UM. Coaches poll, by the way, they're number 7. On Saturday at 9, Fort Lauderdale United will look for their first win of the victory. They've got 2 ties to start the season. They have scored 8 goals to start the year. The Winds will be starting. They will visit Spokane on Saturday at 9 o'clock. You can watch it on Peacock. Also, Saturday, 7:30, right here at Pitbull Stadium. Dale. Miami FC will be hosting Hartford Athletic. Thursday night football in the NFL. It starts tomorrow night, and it is the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the Dallas Cowgirls. Philly, by the way, is favored by 8.5. The over and under is 47.5. Dallas plus 350 on the money line. Philly minus 460. Bad news for the Jets as guard Elijah Vera Tucker suffered a potentially serious injury and could miss significant time, according to Diana Rossini. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Dolphins and Colts, 1 o'clock on Sunday. We'll have the post-game show for you. As always, Colts favored by 1. Over and unders 46.5. Money line, minus 120 for the Dolphins. Colts, plus 100. Now, that is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. I spoke to you about how I fiscally attacked the North Carolina TCU game yesterday. Remember, I explained it to you. I saw that TCU was favored by 3.5. Okay. And I said, I don't like that half because I don't know what to expect. I like TCU in this game, but that half always scares me, you know. So I said, let me see who's going to receive the ball. If I see that TCU is going to receive the ball, I'm going to make the bet right now. Lay the 3.5, bet the money line. I think it was minus 120 because I like TCU. So I was going to take the gamble and say, okay. But I saw that North Carolina got the ball. And I said, this is fantastic. Now I'm not going to lay the bet. Now let me see what happens. If North Carolina can actually drive, it'll move the algorithm, especially if they get over the 50. It'll move off that half point. It'll get down to 3, 2.5, and then I can lay the bet. Sure enough, they started moving the ball, and the algorithm started moving it all the way down. It got all the way down to 1.5, and then they scored the touchdown. And when they scored the touchdown, it went to TCU plus 2.5. And then that's when I really like, all right, let's go. Let's rock, dude. Now you're giving me 2.5. And the money line went to plus 110. So that changes from minus 120 to plus 110. Okay. I trusted TCU to get the job done. You can implement this with other bets that you like. Dolphins this week. Colts are favored by 1. Don't try this at home, kids. You can't trust the Dolphins. So be careful, all right? Man. Make a bet, but I took the Dolphins, but don't go crazy in this one, all right? Don't try to get too cute with the Fins. You know we can't trust them. So just want to warn you guys. Just in case, I'm going to try that with the Dolphins. No. Don't do that with our team. Oh. It's crazy. Crazy. Joe Montana. We talk about this all the time, that ex-players, they usually suck at coaching. They usually suck at being GMs. There are very few Ozzie Newsomes. Okay, just very, very few Ozzie Newsomes. By the way, the whole John Lynch thing started hot, and it's kind of starting to fizzle, hasn't it? I'm just saying, sometimes you also get lucky early on. Can you maintain it? Ozzie Newsome more than maintained it. He was elite. He was like Jerry West, right? There are, to be a former player and then also be a great executive, man, it is difficult. And Joe Montana proves why he should stay, behind the scenes, comment about stuff. He was asked, okay, on the Pat McAfee show, and was asked by Bruce Arians which 3 quarterbacks he would build around if he was starting a franchise today, and he had to be taking Brock Purdy off the list, okay, because obviously he's a Niner homer, and this is a problem that we have with former players trying to do our job, and I can see right through it. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, dude. So Montana answered with Josh Allen, which makes sense. Anybody wants to pick Josh Allen, that makes sense. Then he went with And then he picked Joe Burrow. Makes all the sense in the world also. Okay, that's fine. I can see people picking those guys, no problem. Then he went with Justin Herbert. And then also gave a nod to Jalen Hurts. And this is where your West Coast bias bullshit, we've talked about this over and over and over again. Herbert is the prototypical looking quarterback. Yes, he is built exactly how you want a quarterback to be. But he never wins in clutch moments. In fact, he folds in clutch moments. There is a shit ton of other quarterbacks you can pick in the league before you pick Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, you're only picking him because prototypically he has all the skills. And then you go with Jalen Hurts. Are you kidding me, bro? Jalen Hurts is a mediocre passer. Great young man. Tough as hell. Yes, can squat 600 pounds and a great runner. He's not a great quarterback. That's not a guy you start. If you don't have a dominant line, you're not going to win with that guy. If you need to rely on his arm, you're dead. Absolutely dead. And again, this has nothing to do with Tua. This just has to do with the fact that most players in my history are terrible at their own sports. That's how screwed up it is. Most of them suck at evaluating talent. Most of them suck at analyzing what they're seeing in their own sport. And that proves why I wouldn't want anything to do with Joe Montana in a personnel department. I mean, look at John Elway. He couldn't find his own quarterback, dude. John Elway couldn't identify what a real quarterback looks like. Even though he was one, he can't identify anybody like him. He kept drafting one shitty pick after another at quarterback. He had to go get Peyton Manning in order to win a title. John Elway was better at putting defenses than offenses. How about that? That's crazy. So it's just funny how, it's players, just because they played, we assume that they know. And there's a lot of times that, man, they might know as much as you or less, because they also have their biases. As much as Teron Armstead, great player, great person, great leader, all of that, he can't do this job objectively. I've heard him a couple times. Can't do the job objectively. He's not going to really call out people when they need to be called out and say the things that need to be said. It means you can't do our job. But that's all right. Fans, will gravitate anyways because he's a phenomenal human being and was a great player and is a smooth talker and likable and all that. But you got to be objective in this business. And whether you're doing personnel, you've got to be super objective when you're doing it. And if you're going to be on air, now if you're going to go work for a team or a network or whatever, yeah, you're going to play the game because you got no choice. That's the corporate world, and you're stuck in it. But I just see it all over the place. Ex-players, whether it's trying to be personnel or trying to analyze, their biases get all in the way, dude. Sean, do me a favor. Give me 30 seconds so I can turn on the AC here in the studio. I need a little AC. I need to cool down a little bit.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
All right. By the way, props to FIU. They are honoring Cindy Russo. She, I think it was like 18 seasons of 20 wins for FIU women's hoops. FIU women's hoops has never mattered ever again since Cindy Russo left. So nice job by FIU. You should honor her. She was a beast and a half. I know nobody cares about that, but I just want to mention it because I am a South Florida guy, and it's just funny to see what has happened. You know, like the baseball program was at its peak with Danny Price. The women's basketball program was at its peak with Cindy Russo, and they never really were able to match it. You know what I mean? So there you go. Let's see. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. Peyton McCown. Thank you, my brother. Very kind of you. Very generous. It says, take it before I put it on my Dolphins. Put it on Bitcoin. You won't. That's the one team that will not fail you. I'm not a financial advisor, but, you know, I've been talking about it since it was at 16,000 and we're at 112. So I'm just saying, just in case. No, but by the way, I was a fool. I already put mine on Bitcoin. I mean, on the Dolphins for this week. So, but I appreciate it. Thank you, my brother. Thank you for the donation, and thank you for the support here on the show. Appreciate you immensely, Peyton McCown. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation, Chainlink or Solana also there on Venmo. Big O, Inter Miami's reaction was terrible. Do you feel that it was the worst action done from a South Florida sports franchise? Yeah, since FIU-UM brawl. Yeah. Since the FIU-UM brawl. That's probably the worst thing that we've had. No, it was did start a football team. So you had to pick like somebody young. Mahomes is not considered young anymore, Jonathan. So Herbert is still in, 5 years in, Burrow 5 years in, and what was the other guy? Josh Allen. Well, Josh is like 6 or 7, right? But yeah, I guess they didn't want to go with the what is Mahomes like? Are we like in 7 or 8 or 9 with Mahomes? I don't know what it is. But yeah. So it is what it is. So they went with that. And the Mahomes thing is like really, you already won championships. So I guess that's why it's obvious not to pick him. You know what I'm saying? So they wanted to pick other guys. But either way, the Herbert and then you throw in the Jalen Hurts thing, that's kind of a joke. Like, I can't take you serious anymore. Once you say that, like, yeah, okay, just get out of my face, bro. Just get out of my face. Are you planning on going to walk-ons during the season? No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. No, sir. I didn't even bother to sell the Dolphins pre- and post-game show this year. I did not bother. To be quite honest, I'm doing it in studio, and that's it. So, I'm not expecting a great year, and I don't want to deal with all the aggravation. So I'd rather just be at home and cover it from here. I'm not expecting much. Look, here's my prediction for the Miami Dolphins this year. Let's get into it. All right. There's no way in the world that I expect the Miami Dolphins to stay absolutely healthy for 17 games. Most teams never do that. 99% of the teams don't do that. Sometimes you get breaks and you get a pretty healthy year and you only lose a couple people here and there and you can all do it. But most of all, you're not going to be able to get away with that in most teams. You're going to have to deal with injuries. Injuries are going to be a problem for Miami because they don't have depth. And that depth will be exposed many times throughout the year. And nowhere more than the offensive line, which then leads to your quarterback, who's not the most durable person in the world. And I don't know what Tua we're going to get. Can I get the one I got 2 years ago, or am I going to get the one from all the other years? And what's more common? To get the one from all the other years. So then if Tua's also going to miss games, then what does that say about your football team? Okay, so I don't know what Tua I'm going to get. I do expect injuries on the team because that's normal. And I don't know, as a team that doesn't have depth, how do you overcome that? Not exactly sure how that happens. Then I've got to go with the head coach, who has never proven to me to be competent. Can't win a challenge, can't counter. His team's undisciplined, doesn't stick to the run. I mean, it's endless the amount of things that he screws up in. And I'm expecting him to fix all of that also? No, I'm not. And is this team better than it was last year? Or the year before? No. They had more talent, they had more depth, and they had more anchors, experienced players, leaders that are gone now. Like the aforementioned Teron Armstead, that even whether he was playing or even not playing, there's at least that presence there. And it's gone. And the Calais Campbell one is gone. You're going to be missing key people. You're going to be missing depth. You're going to be missing a head coach that we have no idea if he can actually be competent enough to get the job done. And when people say, well, the beginning of the year, the schedule is easier and it gets harder at the end of the year, you could be right. But I don't play the schedule game. I'm just going to look at it overall and say, you're not going to stay healthy because it's really impossible in this league to stay healthy. You will suffer injuries. Your depth will get exposed. Your coach constantly gets exposed. I got 7-10. I got 7-10. I just don't expect this team. Last year they should have beaten the Colts. And you didn't have the coach that could adjust and go into Indianapolis and win. They're supposed to win this Sunday. I'm even betting on them. I bet on the Dolphins. I got the Dolphins plus 1.5, and I took the money line. I'm an idiot. They should win. Will they? Are you sure? Because I'm not. And that's my problem. I don't have any confidence in anything that Mike McDaniel does. I don't believe players have confidence in Mike McDaniel. I believe it's all a bunch of bullshit that you've been hearing all throughout training camp about the bonding and this and that, and we're going off for 11 days and all that. None of that means a damn thing. You bond in real tough times during the regular season, and that has not happened in 3 years. It's not going to happen all of a sudden. There's just too much unrealistic to make it realistic. Too much to overcome. I love the front seven of this team. It can be impactful. It can. There's some potential on the offensive line, but they're young and unproven. So we don't know. Yeah, you've got two great receivers, but if you don't have the running game, it won't matter. And if you don't commit to the running game, it certainly will not matter. I don't know how many times that needs to be repeated, and I don't know how people don't get it. I don't give a shit about Tyreek Hill or Jalen Waddle. Those guys aren't going to be the best of themselves until they run the football relentlessly. And I don't know if they can do that. I don't know if they can push people around, because that's how you're going to win games. The gimmicks and the speed and all of that, they've caught up to him already. The bottom line is he has not crossed the threshold of running the football. This is why Marino had his limitations also. Not as a player, his just offense. Because Shula never had any running game. He never had a star running back. He never had a great offensive line. And because of that, you put Marino in a position where it was obvious what they were going to do. So that limited you. And once you get to the deeper part of the year and get to the winter part and the playoffs, that kind of offense will die. And it always died for Marino. And it's going to die with these guys also. And that's what's been happening year after year. And we don't get it. So there's a lot of negatives that I see in the equation that there's no way I can sit here and tell you, oh, yeah, they're going to win 10 games. Why? That's insane. I hope they do. I hope they win 10 games. I hope I'm wrong as hell. I hope you guys are making fun of me. But I'm sorry. 7-10 is where I'm going, unfortunately, with the Dolphins. I don't expect much more. I expect a coaching change. That's what I expect. 7-10, and Weaver is your coach by week 10 when it's all said and done. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Hope I'm wrong. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. As always, you can make a donation on the Super Chat. Brett Dodger says, it's really close games where coaching can make a huge difference. The Dolphins falter under McD, sadly. Yes. Yep. KSTUA or KS2A says, my prediction is 6-11. Jeff in Long Island's got 9-8. Hurricane running back Damian Martinez. Yes, we know he was released. Yes. What else? No, I'm not going to Indianapolis. I'm not going to anything except Madrid. That's it. And we're ready to go to Madrid. That's it, my friends. Michael Jordan was the worst basketball owner in GM. Exactly. Great player and he could not assess talent at all. If it bit him in the ass, he wouldn't know what a really good player looks like. And that's Michael Jordan. Is that crazy or what? Yeah. Yes. Alex, so you'll know I will not be going to any more games. I'll go to Madrid because that's going to be that's the highlight of our season pretty much. But I even training camp, dude, until they get back to being good again, I'm not even going to waste my time. I mean, training camp's a waste. It's only good to meet people and meet Dolphins. But outside of that, it's to sit there and sweat for cheesy practices. Yeah, I'm not really big on that anymore. I really enjoyed this year being away from training camp and just watching it without sweating from afar. I kind of enjoyed it. It was very addicting. So I don't know if I ever go back to training camp, they're going to have to be a really good team. Yeah. I don't think I've gone for decades. You know, you get kind of tired of doing it. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to have to earn my appearance. You know what I'm saying? They have not earned my time anymore. That's the problem with the Dolphins. So if I'm going to waste my time to go there and sweat, you better be good. If you're not, yeah, I've done that. I've done that many times already. Yeah, I don't need to do that anymore. I could do it from here. Yeah, don't need to be in the. It's not. By the way, I'm here. Everybody's there, and I'm the guy telling you, yeah, they're not signing corners because they won $4, $5, $6 million bucks. So it doesn't really matter, dude. Do I need to be there to know the information? No, not really. So that's the good thing about it. Pat in Nashville says Dolphins have only beaten Bills twice since 2018. Both times I was in the state of Florida, 2022 at game. I'm scheduled to be in New York on 9/18. My streak is over, LOL. Well, hey, you give us some hope, actually. Let's see. Sam the Man says team could get 10 wins if Tua stays healthy. Yeah. That's what a lot of people are saying. I don't know if this team is good enough around Tua. And the offense, you're assuming the offensive line is going to be healthy the whole year. Too many of you are assuming that even if Tua is healthy, the whole team is healthy. That's insanity. It just is. It just doesn't happen. I hope it does, but it's just not normal. Yeah, MJ drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist at number 2 overall and passed up on Damian Lillard. Jordan has to be the worst talent evaluator. Yeah, bro. And Kwame Brown and shit. I mean, he's terrible, dude. He's terrible. Edward Thurston Howell says, I would be handing off the ball to Achane and Gordon the whole game, spread in a pass or two here or there. Edward, you have a brain. I'm not sure our guy has a brain. John Padilla, thank you, sir, for the super chat. Says, I just got back from a week's vacation in Madrid and Barcelona. Barcelona definitely funner. Back in the Bay Area. All right. Nice. I've been to Barcelona. I went to Barcelona when I was 18 years old. Had a blast. Good time in Barcelona. But this time we're just going to Madrid. We may go to a town, nearby, visit a town for a day, something like that. We may do that because there's a bunch of nice towns around that you can take those fast trains to it for a half hour, 45 minutes to it. So we might do something like that. But I want to cover a lot of the Dolphin events, meet a lot of the Dolphin fans, especially the Spanish Dolphin fans. Looking forward to that. That's going to be good. I want to find out, how do I find out about my lineage? How the hell do I do that in Spain, since that's where I can find out about my family's lineage? I wonder if I can do that when I go. Find out. Do I have a crest? Or just crap? I don't know. Not exactly sure. Do they do the crest thing in Spain? Don't know. These are questions inquiring minds want to know. And I don't know. I just don't know. Let's see. The only players who make good coaches are catchers in baseball, mostly because they're really on-field coaches when they played and managed the pitching staff and infield. Very true. Very, very true. Yeah. And usually the best coaches in football are the guys that never made it to the show. That's usually the guys that are the best. Stephen Harris says, good morning, Big O and Sean. Hope you all had a good Labor Day. Go Canes. It's all about the U, not the Gators. Tell that to Frankie. True FinFan says, how long have I been saying 6 and 11, 7 and 10 months? So many said I was insane. Where are you guys? Well, there's still plenty of people that think they're going to. The problem is that people on average will say the 10 wins because, especially for writers and stuff like that, they got to keep people on the hook. You know what I'm saying? Me, I don't give a shit. I'm going to tell you honestly, and if I turn you off by telling you, hey, I think this is going to be a shit year, Don't expect much. Oh, man, this guy's turning me off. Oh, man. Oh, Big O's being negative, this, that. I don't care, dude. You know what I mean? I was positive about it the last couple of years. I got my Super Bowl, place in Vegas and in Arizona because thinking, hey, man, if we have the right coach, you can get it done. But no, we didn't have the breaks. We didn't have the right coach. It is what it is. Now I'm done. It is what it is. I had my moments of giving it a chance. I'm done with giving this a chance. Unfortunately, I just don't think you're going anywhere with this guy. So I will tell you, but most, even if they feel it, people can't lose by giving you positive predictions. You can only lose by giving a negative prediction. Because even if the positive, so you were wrong. I was hoping and that's always sympathetic. Nobody is sympathetic to somebody that is negative. None. If your prediction turns out to be right, they're pissed that your prediction turned out to be right. And if your prediction's wrong, they hate you for being negative because they had a good year. So you can't win. And I know that, but I don't care. Because I'd rather be honest and tell you this Joe Philbin hire is terrible. It makes no sense. Dolphins aren't going anywhere. This is before he even This is before he even held a press conference. Do you understand that? Before he even said, hello, welcome to Miami, I said, this is a shit hire. You think that won me anything? Not at all. 5 years later, when they fire him, you think nothing. Nothing. I'm just an asshole for being negative openly about Joe Philbin before Joe Philbin even took the field to pick up trash. But hey, man, that's who I've been for 35 years. I'm not changing a damn thing. I was positive about the Panthers, bet on them to win the Stanley Cup, and they won. Okay? All right? So it is what it is. And when they were meow, meow, we called it. We're going to stay who we are. I'd rather just be brutally honest. You know what I'm saying? Good or bad, what am I going to do? Just hope you can hang in there with me. That's all. Big O, Cubans usually come from the Canary Islands, Spain. Really? Okay. I'm Basco. I come from the mountains. Alzugaray. My people are from the mountains, supposedly. Devin says, did you see the stat where McDaniel hasn't lost a season opener in 3 years? All right. Well, I bet. So let's hope it's 4 straight. One-Eyed Jack says, I've been saying 5 wins all summer. I hope they win, but I just don't see it. Cornerbacks are bad and no O-line depth. Yep. At least a losing season prevents the Finns from getting pounded in the road, cold weather, wild card, or playoff game again. Yeah, I get it, but still making the playoffs is pretty good at least. I get it. It's I don't want to go to the playoffs to be embarrassed all the time. But damn, bro, we're never going to bust out if we don't make it to the playoffs at least, Edward says you can go to Madrid and find out that you are a king, Big O. Yeah. Oh, sure. True Fin says, makes 2 of us, Big O. We can't win either way, but I don't give a shit what others think of me, why my family and friends say I'm brutal with no filter. That's right, Frankie. How about them Marlins? Where are all those fans? Huh? Where are all those Marlins fans tearing it up? You're right, Frankie. Where are those Marlins fans? Talk Marlins, Big O. They've turned it around. They're doing awesome. They're trying to avoid a sweep today, I think. Didn't they used to beat the Nationals? Like, that's how they, got some wins. The Nationals. Yeah. Yep, those Marlins. Boy, you people are really dedicated, Marlins fans. You're really asking me to. How come nobody's really asking me to talk Marlins anymore and mention Marlins anymore in the last month since they went into the shitter? Just say it. Like I said, nobody really gives a shit about them. There's one or two of you seam heads out there. I don't know, whatever. But overall, gone. Thank you, Frankie. Frankie having fun on those fake Marlins fans out there. Pat and Astro says my prediction is under the 500. Damn. Inter Messi fan club sore losers. Oh God, yes. Sean, did you hear about this? I think you're talking about, Kosa, you're right about, I think what you're talking about, dude. I'm not exactly sure if you and I are in the same thing. Sean, did you hear about this? Inter Miami flew fans out there. Those are the ones that were brawling outside the stadium. Oh, what a bunch of idiots, bro. I mean, the Moss family, they have got to be so embarrassed and so beside themselves. That whole thing blew up, dude. Their precious superstar international players outside of Messi acted like a bunch of assholes and punks and thugs because they got embarrassed and got handled. And a young kid was laughing at their asses because they should be laughing at their asses. And that's what they deserve because they're a little Argentina country club. I mean, I got to tell you, dude, it's disgraceful. And then the players are acting like horses' asses. Then the team actually does something really cool, flies out fans because the fans didn't have any access the last time around to it. So they wanted to come through for them, which was a really classy move by the Moss brothers, right? Flies them out, and these guys go there and act like absolute buffoons and assholes. It's crazy. I mean, that whole thing could not have gone any worse. By the way, if I'm Inter Miami, if you have any balls, let's call it like we see it. Okay? Let's call it like we see it. You suspend those players, especially Suarez and Avilas for the year, the 9 games that are remaining. If you have any balls, if you really, if you really want to show like real respect. Okay? Not only that, you ban the fans that you flew out. You can track all that stuff. There's plenty of video, and you can track all that stuff. And any of those fans that were either arrested or you can physically see them in those fights and those videos, those people should be banned from going to Inter Miami games too. Because I paid for you to go. You're representing the club and you go and start fights. Yeah, no. So that's what I would do. But, we'll see. Something tells me that the MLS and Inter Miami are going to show no balls whatsoever, no scruples. So it's already showing me because they've taken so long to respond. They haven't responded yet, right? Just in case in these 2 hours that I'm on here, they haven't responded, right? Okay. The fact that they've taken this long to respond already tells me that they're trying some voodoo bullshit to pull here. They're trying to conjure up some shit excuse or something to give themselves a reason to be very easy on them or do nothing or whatever, or use some loophole. Like I told you, oh no, we're CONCACAF. No, we don't run this tournament. Well, the MLS, we don't run this tournament. And then, because it's a fake tournament. It's like that other Leagues Cup, Club Leagues Cup thing, World Cup Leagues Cup. These are fake tournaments. These are bullshit tournaments. Money grabs is all they get. They came up with this, Apple and everyone else in the MLS, because they're spending so much money to bring Messi over. They've got to create some other shit to try to generate revenue. That's the only reason these tournaments are created. They're fake tournaments. They're bullshit tournaments. Nobody cares about Leagues Cup, dude. If your pinnacle is beating a Mexican club, man, you've got low standards. Sorry, Mexico, but your soccer ain't shit. If you're MLS or Mexico, you're trying to be Premier. You're trying to be Bundesliga. You're trying to be Serie A. That's what you want to be. Those are the leagues you want to be. You want to be in that company. You don't care about this company. It's not impressive to be as the late great Mad Dog would say, to be the best in North America is like being a valedictorian in summer school. That's it. Rest in peace, Mad Dog. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. We are at 112-348. Yes, sir.
No, I just went to the Inter Miami site on X. They have sent out no post.
Nothing.
Last 2 days they've sent out two. One with Kromoski leaving, and one of their schedule for September. And people are putting like clown memes under it, and there's nothing else sent out from them right now.
Check this out. Let me show you this. Take down the billboard there, sir, if you can. This thing is slow, bro. Very slow. All right, this is the MLS website. What we learned with San Diego Stars shine. Champion Seattle Sounders win Leagues Cup over Inter. San Diego, every MLS call up in September. Inter Miami, Kromoski to Parma, Audi MLS Cup playoffs, vote for match, Seattle Sounders, Fuels Leagues Cup title, San Diego FC, spoil whatever, yada, yada, yada. Sounders set League Cup attendance records. Where's the brawl? Where's the brawl? Where's the spitting? Where is it? Oh, wait, hold on. There's a news tab. It's got to be in the news tab. Of course it's in the news tab. Romania versus Canada. Houston Dynamo signed Jamaican defender. Here we go. Disciplinary committee decision. FC Cincinnati. Evander fined by Emma. Oh, I'm sorry. It was the wrong disciplinary commission. This is our world. Manipulate news, manipulate sports, hide, whatever, deceive, distract. This is it. This is what we do. Doesn't matter what walk of life you're talking about. This is what we do. You know what I'm saying? So, man. Anyway, I think the MLS and the Mexican League need to try their best to be like the Brazilian League or Argentine League first. That's why they should enter the Copa Libertadores tournament. I doubt that will happen, but what are you going to do? You know? Let's see. Big O, R.I.P. to excellent indigenous Canadian actor who was in numerous movies and TV shows, was best known for The Green Mile in his starting role and Friendly Indian and Dances with Wolves, Graham Greene. Yes, I saw that, and I mean, Graham Greene's like a guy that you've seen in 1,000 movies, dude. You know, Graham Greene is that guy that you don't know his name, but the second you see his face, it's not just Dances with Wolves. It's just if you just go to his IMDb, you know you've seen that man in so many shows and movies. It's endless. Yes. Yes, definitely. Rest in peace. By the way, there's a couple of games I like so far. I'm looking at it. You guys tell me what you think on these so far. Friday's game, I like KC -3 at the Chargers. Chargers have, I believe, their left tackle out for the year. They've got some issues. You got a choking quarterback. I like the 3 because worst case scenario, maybe there's a push, but I think KC can win this game by a touchdown, actually. I don't buy the Chargers nearly as much on Friday night. Then I like at 4:05, I like at Denver -7.5. Tennessee is visiting them with Cam Ward. And Tennessee's not a good team. And Cam Ward is going up against a pretty decent defense. And I think Cam, as I've told you, I'm going to stick to my guns. I think he'll develop into a good quarterback, but I think he's going to have some struggles early on because he got away with a lot of stuff that I think he thinks he's going to be able to get away with at this level. And if he pulls a lot of the stuff that he pulled here, he's going to turn over the ball, throwing across his body, throwing all those crazy throws. He will not get away with that in the NFL. So I expect him to make some mistakes early before he then adjusts to all of that. So since it's game 1, I'm willing to lay the 7.5 with Denver at home hosting Tennessee. I think they win by 10 in this game. So I don't like Tennessee right now. Their team is not that good. 4:25, Houston is visiting the Rams. Rams have issues on the offensive line. The quarterback hasn't practiced much. He's banged up. And the Rams are favored by 3. I kind of like Houston. I like their defense. I like them as the underdog, keeping this a close game overall. So I like the dog here on the road. Take Houston +3 at the Rams. Then we've got the Sunday night game. Baltimore is favored by 1 point at Buffalo. I'm going Buffalo here, dude. I'm going to pick Buffalo here. Buffalo's got a good enough defense to stop the Baltimore running game. And then if it gets down to a passing game, I'm going to give Josh Allen the nod at home over Lamar Jackson. And Buffalo gets a point at home. I'm taking Buffalo. So KC -3, Denver -7.5, Houston +3, and Buffalo +1. 2 favorites, 2 dogs, 1 dog at home, 1 dog on the road, 1 favorite at home, 1 favorite on the road. Those are my picks. If you like any of them, tell me. If you hate them all, I can understand. I suck. Not a financial advisor, not a betting expert. No, I'm not none of that. None of that. Do your own homework. Okay? There we go. That's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it, as they say. Let me do a little music here before I go back to your questions and comments and insults and all kinds of good stuff. All right, let's get to musicians born on this date, September 3rd. I know you're wondering, who the hell was born today on September 3rd? Who is celebrating a birthday? All right, well, let's start off with, this is kind of a weak list, Susan Freitag. God, we got to go all the way back to my girl from Propaganda. Whoo! That album from Propaganda, their first album. Jewel and Duel and what's it called? That whole album is so good. Maboose, P Machinery, just a really an underrated, great dance electronic album, the debut from Propaganda back in the 80s. But Susanna Freitag celebrating a birthday today, born in 1957. Steve Jones, guitarist and member of the Sex Pistols, born in 1955. Eric Bell, one of the founding members of Thin Lizzy, born in 1947. George Biondo from Steppenwolf, born in 45. And that is it for musicians. Let's go with other famous people. Remember, if we don't give you an age, that means they have passed away, unfortunately. Automobile designer Ferdinand Porsche, born in 1875. Cartoonist Mort Walker, born in 1923. Organized crime boss James Whitney Bugler Jr., born in 1929. Serial killer Alberto De Salvo, the Boston Strangler, born in 1931. Actress Eileen Brennan, born in 1932. Musician Al Jardine from the Beach Boys, born in 42. He is 83 today. Don Brewer from Grand Funk Railroad, born in 48. He's 77. Charlie Sheen, winning. He's 60, born in 65. He is 60 today. Musician Tomo Milicevic from 30 Seconds to Mars, born in 79. He's 46. Olympic snowboarder Shaun White, born in 86. He's 39. And that is it. Sean Stanley, do you have yourself some wrestlers born on this date?
Yes, sir, we do.
What do you got?
Kimura was born on this date in 1997. Nick Goulas was born on this date in 1914. TJP turns 41. Shiro Koshinaka is 67. Bob Evans turns 53. And AEW's The Bunny, she turns 38 on September 3rd, 2025.
All right, let's go with music history. That's the other thing you're wondering. Oh, what happened today in music history? Did anything epic, big, something we should know about? Yes. In 65, a Stones gig in Dublin ended in a riot after 30 fans jumped on stage. Mick Jagger was knocked to the floor as the rest of the band fled the stage. In 84, on this date, Iron Maiden released their 5th studio album, Power Slave. It features 2 minutes to midnight, The Hand That Steals, Doom, and Aces High, too. Let's see. In 1990, George Michael released his 2nd studio album, Listen Without Prejudice, Volume 1. It features Freedom, 90, Praying for Time, Waiting for That Day, and Heal the Pain. In 91, Naughty by Nature released her self-titled debut album, Tommy Boy Records. It was a critical and commercial success, having been certified platinum on February 6 of 92. This was thanks in large part to the hit single, OPP, Yeah, You Know Me, which was the first rap song to become a pop hit when it reached number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100 in 91. The declaration, "Down with it, OPP," became a popular catchphrase in the U.S. in the early 90s. Stanton Swinhart of AllMusic considers Naughty by Nature to be both a pop and a rap classic, as well as a must-have album for fans of East Coast rap. You just got to have that. It's a great song, man. Let's see. Who else? In 2001, System of a Down attempted to put on a free show in a parking lot in L.A. to promote the release of their album the next day. Too many people showed up. The authorities wouldn't let them play, and rioting occurs. Let them play. Let them play. In 2009, Madonna's Sticky and Sweet World became the highest grossing tour ever for a solo artist, making $408 million. The 51-year-old singer had performed in 32 countries. In 2011, Weezer and Motion City Soundtrack performed at the Minnesota State Fair Grandstand. Got to move to Minnesota to see all these bands. Let's see, who else? In 2017, Walter Becker, co-founder and guitarist of Steely Dan, died at the age of 67. Steely Dan released its first album, Can't Buy a Thrill, in 72 and had the 73 U.S. number 11 single with We're Reeling in the Years. And number 9 on the U.S. top 30 hits, Steely Dan's Two Against Nature won a Grammy in 2001 for Album of the Year. Becker had produced records for Ricky Lee Jones, Chucky's in Love, China Crisis, and Michael Franks. What else do we have here? Sometimes they have some birthdays. Freddie King, born today in 1934. Red Foo of LMAFO is 50 today. Who else? That is it. That is what happened today in Musica history. All right. What else do we have? Remember, Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo, and you can make a Bitcoin or Ethereum donation. We are at 112,000. True Fan says, I'm taking the Chargers and I'm taking Denver on those bets. Chiefs might have a Super Bowl hangover. How many Super Bowl hangovers? Call me crazy. No care. LOL. Placing them as we speak. Let's see. So funny listening to this guy talk about soccer. Well, we're not really talking about soccer. We're talking about soccer assholes. It's a little different. We're not really talking about the X's and O's of the game. Like Orlando giving the game to Inter Miami after dominating and spanking them all over the field. You take a 1-0 lead and then you pack the box all of a sudden. Why play scared? Why play prevent defense like we call in football? That's talking soccer, sir. What I was just doing now was not talking soccer. I was talking about assholes involved in soccer is what I was talking about. Okay? When we talk soccer, we will talk about that like we did last week when Orlando just gifted Miami a victory. By, hey, we'll be wussies. We got a 1-0 lead. We're going to stop playing. We're going to stop schooling and dominating your ass like we have all year. That's soccer talk, sir. Okay? Anyway. What else? Big O, can you give James Vivinetti a blind-ass fan alert? What did Vivinetti do? What did Vivinetti do? Vivinetti says, honestly, overall, I think the team is better than they were last year, but you guys don't believe in the coach. Won 8 games last year with Tua missing 6. If Tua stays healthy and they run the ball, you win more. The team is not better than it was last year. I disagree with them. I'm not going to give him a blind-ass fan alert. You know why? He may end up being right. I doubt he is. Time will tell. I disagree with it. I think the team is worse than it was last year and definitely 2 years ago. Just without Calais Campbell on the D-line, you're already hurting. Just alone with that, you're already hurting. You know, and without Teron Armstead's leadership there, that also hurts. You know, you hope Patrick Paul fills in. He looks the part, looks it perfectly, but you just never know. But Vivinetti could be right on that. So I got to give him I can't give him a blind ass fan alert because it's not so obvious. Maybe he's right and maybe we're wrong. Maybe we overlooked it. I don't think so, but we'll find out. We could give him the blind ass fan alert later on in the year. When they're firing McDaniel, then we'll go back to Vivinetti and say, Vivinetti, actually knowing James, because he's been around the chat board here for a while, for a few years now, he gets the show. He himself would turn himself in. Vivinetti's that dude. You go, oh, you guys were right. I was wrong on that one. So even Vivinetti will actually request the blind ass fan alert for himself. He's a stand-up dude. I can tell. There's a couple of you out there. Stand-ups. Frankie Fresco. Stand up as they come, dude. Frankie Fresco is here night and day, takes the shots, gives them, doesn't matter. It is what it is. Some of you are like that. We got some of those out there. The Jack Roldans of the world, we got some of the legit people, the Patton Ashvilles, Ocala Joes, True Fin Fan. We got some stand-up people out there. There's some out there. All right. Big O, speaking of musicians, did you watch the documentary of The People versus Michael Jackson on A&E? No. Is that new? Is that something new? What am I missing about it? I don't know anything about it, my man. I'll look it up. I'll see what the hell is going on. Why the documentary? What is there new to know or anything? That's the thing. A fresh Derrick Henry is going to run all over the Bills. At least I hope so. Well, see, now you guys are thinking like fans. I'm not thinking like a fan. I'm thinking with my wallet. I leave the fan shit out. And so I'm going to go with, I think the Bills are better than the Ravens and at home. And they're getting a point. So I'm going to go Bills on this one. I am. Let's see. What else do we have? Do you feel Trump will take down Maduro? I hope so, right? I mean, you don't want him attacking the country because that's not what you told people you weren't going to be going into wars. But I love what they're doing, pressuring him and how they blew away the drug boat. Look, dude, I'm not a Trump guy. I'm not a Biden guy or whatever. But if I disagree with something, I'll tell you. And if I agree with something, I'll tell you. And they just blew a drug boat out of the water yesterday. It's like, okay, do I want you to send out armies all over or National Guard in certain cities like a police state? No, I don't. But guess what? The whole thing that he's having with Chicago, dude, Chicago's like, they're constantly killing people there all over the place. Don't tell me you don't need help. Your city's a disaster, dude. I keep up with it. You should welcome actual guards there because your city's a freaking disaster, bro. The gang stuff that's going on, I would have them flooding those streets. So there are certain things that I agree with and certain things I don't agree with. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of the way it is. That's why I don't care about Republicans or Democrats. I only care about Americans, period. And Republicans and Democrats do a shit ton of stupid crap and they destroy our economy and they print money and all that kind of stuff. But there are things that there are wrong, right? And the crime rate in Chicago is completely out of control. So I get that Trump has his own other agenda, but technically those people need all the help they can get because it's completely unsafe. And if Venezuela's sending drug boats out, blow them right out of the water. I got no problem with that. Do I have a problem with all the Epstein stuff? Of course, because I know it's all dirty. They're protecting a whole bunch of dirty billionaires that were raping girls over there. Of course, that's stuff that I disagree with. But that's just kind of the way it goes. Do I agree with Trump printing $1.1 trillion in the last 48 days? No. you know, because people are stupid. And, oh, we collected $30 billion in tariffs, and illegal tariffs, by the way. You know, there's something called no taxation without representation. That's why Congress has to put in, you know, tariffs. But people are stupid, and they just, you know, just because they voted for the guy or whatever, they're just fanboys or fangirls. And all these tariffs are just going to kill us. Those are things I disagree with. That's a tax on us. He's collecting money from us, not from anybody else. He's taxing us. That's all. Got to call it like you see it, dude. That's all. I don't care about what's left or right. I think they're both clown shows. Don't believe in any of them. I think they're all out to hurt us. Don't care. But, yeah. In that case, you know. So Skylar says, "Oh, I live in Chicago. You're flat out wrong." Well, how come you guys got all that murdering going on with gangs constantly? I don't know. You tell me, dude. How many were shot over Labor Day weekend? How many shot? Let's see, Chicago. People shot over Labor Day weekend. It's like it's 58 people shot fatally, 8 fatally during Labor Day weekend in Chicago. Did that happen in Miami? I'm sorry, who sent that in? Skylar? Did Skylar send that in? I'm sorry, did that happen in Miami? Did that happen in New York City? Did that happen in Asheville? Did that happen in Atlanta? No, dude, it happens constantly in Chicago. Like, constantly in Chicago. I'm not sure what you're talking about, my brother. But, like this is normal in Chicago. That's all I ever hear about Chicago is a ton of gang crime. And the kids at the, what's that area that they get all crazy and they had to have a curfew and all that? The kids in Chicago have to have a curfew because they're out of control, dude. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Seriously. I just pulled it up, bro. 58 people shot. Dude, I follow everything. I mean, you know, I get it. You live there and your butt hurt. Sorry, bro. Sorry. You know. But the people that run your state is a freaking clown show. Okay? So, you know, sorry your butt hurt, bro, but you got a real big gang problem in Chicago. You've had it for a long, long time. And if you can't even admit it, no, that's sad. Seriously. I know people in Chicago that tell me about the stuff that goes on there. So, you know. Hey, you know what? You don't have to use troops if you guys were actually competent. But since you're not competent, there you go. The orangutans coming at you. You know, too bad. Get competent. 58 people, 8 killed this weekend, dude. No, you don't need any help. No, of course not. Yeah, Chicago's super safe. Yeah, no, of course. Yeah, go for it. Big old Ravens hype every year. Lamar can't win when it matters. He's as big a choker as it gets. True Fin fan, maybe actually. Oh, no, let's see. You don't use troops. Okay. Talk to the big O, bro. I'm not even going to continue with you on this one. All I know is you're a disaster in Chicago. More than almost every other city in the country. The gang violence there is disgusting, dude. It's almost as disgusting as Inter Miami players. Inter Miami players are slightly more disgusting than the crime rate for gangs in Chicago. Just slightly. So think about it. We have a real big problem here with Inter Miami. You've got the second biggest problem. So what can I tell you? It is what it is. Don't be butthurt. You know, you're a crime-driven city. It's full of scumbags shooting each other. What are you going to do? Welcome to Chicago. Anyway, we appreciate all of you out there. Those of you that sent in the like button, thank you. Those of you that made a donation, thank you very much. Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. We appreciate you. Tomorrow, Stephen Holder will join us, Colts beat writer, NFL writer for ESPN. We'll preview the Colts from his point of view, because I think the Dolphins are going to win. It's interesting to see if they think they're going to win, since, our team isn't necessarily highly respected. So it's always interesting to see how they think about it and how we think about it. But we'll talk to Stephen Holder tomorrow. We'll have David Furones and Manny Navarro on Friday. We appreciate the great Sean Stanley. We'll see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Same bat channel. Bye.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.